Good morning. Welcome to the second assignment for the new school year in Bible. Okay, and so we're going to open right up into it. Go to your to-do list, and I want you to notice the assignments under each one of your subjects. Now, if you're in this before August 8th, you're not going to see a lot of assignments. Okay, so if you want to go to your past assignments, you click on the subject and you should be able to see all your past assignments. I know that some people with devices have a problem doing this. You might need to get on a computer to do this, okay? So this was your first assignment. This is going to be the assignment that we're going to do this week, okay? And you're going to go ahead and click on Blue Letter Bible, okay? And so it opens up in a different window when you're on a computer. If this does not happen with your device, you can download this from the App Store. Okay, it's Blue Letter Bible and it has this little symbol. But it allows you to go back and forth between your pod and the Blue Letter Bible. And what this is a tool to help us to not go into Google so much. Because I do like Google for some things, but Google gives you too much information. And I'm looking for specifics. And so this helps us to do that. Now, we're not going to use this exhaustively, but we are going to use this some. And so this is what the home screen looks like. You'll go in there and you'll type in Romans and you'll type in the version. And what pops up is the first chapter of the book of Romans, okay? And so each verse has a little tab next to it called Tools. And this menu pops up. But if you just click on Tools, it goes ahead and pops it up. And that's what we're trying to do. So I'm going to scroll down. And what's so exciting about this is the original text of the book of Romans. This is what the first sentence of the book of Romans looks like in Greek. Okay, the book of Romans was written in Greek. This translation is from the Strong's Concordance, which was translated from the King James Version. And so we can tell that it's Greek because of this G that's beside this number. Now, each word in the Bible is numbered and kind of given a designation. And so the G stands for Greek. If I was to type in Genesis, it would be an H, and then you would see the Hebrew language up here. It's so beautiful. You should do that. But I'm not trying to make this a 10-minute video, so we're going to stick here. So if you look at it and you just hover over it, it gives you the translation. Okay, so the transliteration is Paulos, and the English of Paulos is Paul. Okay, and so that's Paul. That's the number. That's the translation. And then if you go over here to this microphone and click on it, listen.
Strong's G 3972. Paulos.
Tells you what it sounds like in that language, which is really cool, I think.
Strong's G 2424. Jesus.
Jesus. Okay. And so it's a really good tool. So if you want to go back to the top, go ahead and hit return to the top. And you have your menu back. We're going to go ahead and we're going to click on Bibles. Now, I'm a strong believer in paralleling my Bibles. Okay, so when you read your translation and you come across the word love or something like that, and you really want to know, dig deeper into something because it's not so clear, you can go ahead and put two Bibles that you are comfortable with up next to each other and read them next to each other, okay? And you can move them around like this. It's drag to reorder. So that just kind of parallels your Bible verses together. And it's just a study tool. And so now we go to cross-references. Now let me tell you, the Bible took 1,500 years to write. It took 3 civilizations to write this. Not generations, civilizations. And it's such a unique book. And one of the things that locks it in and proves it is its cross-references. The Bible proves itself. It doesn't need an outside source. And it is just an incredible feat of God for him to give us such a manuscript and an instruction manual and a picture of who he is. And so cross-references are incredible. And so I'm going to ask you for cross-references. We're going to get in there and dig for that kind of stuff. And so this is where you'll find it. So you don't have to necessarily rely on Google. So we can go into commentaries. Commentaries we're not going to use until the very end of a chapter or the end of a subject in the book of Romans, because some of the chapters kind of mold together. And so, but they're very good. So the commentators in here are some really good guys. Now, I haven't gone through all of these men. I don't know them personally. You know, I haven't sat under a lot of them, but there are a couple that you might recognize. Let me see, the DJ Vernon McGee. I've listened to him a couple of times on the radio. He seems pretty solid, but when we go down further, Matthew Henry, 1600s, he was pretty solid. See, Charles Spurgeon's. You've got Martin Luther. You see Martin Luther's there. These are his sermons and his commentary on the subject of Romans. John MacArthur's there. Albert Mohler is there. Paul Washer. You know, so these are some pretty good guys. Now there's video also that they offer from these, you know, newer guys. I guess Matthew Henry wouldn't have a video. He was 1600, so. But yeah, so it's a good tool to have. Like I said, the commentaries, once we have exhausted our study of a chapter, when we have named all the people that are in there, we've named all the pronouns, we figured out who the letter was written to and where it was written and why he said some of the things that he said. Once we've exhausted our personal study of a chapter, then I might ask you to go in and grab a commentary. Ask your parents, hey, who do you trust in this group of men to give you a good explanation? And they might give you something outside of this, which is fine. You don't have to use the commentaries in here, but they're available if you do trust some of these men. And so it's very important that we listen to people that we trust and we don't just get thrown by the waves to and fro, you know. So I totally understand. But okay, so the dictionaries, I'm not going to ask you to define a word out of here. When you click on a definition in here, these are theological students. These are teachers that are writing these definitions. When I ask for a definition, I'm looking for 1 or 2 sentences. I'm not looking for a paragraph. You know, you click on Moses, the man of God, it's going to define that for you, and it's going to give you so much information about him. That is not what I'm looking for. When I'm asking you to define what an apostle is, just give me a couple of sentences, okay? Go back. Now, the miscellaneous kind of gives you the map of where he is, and it just has a lot of good information in here. I haven't really played with all of this and some of this stuff here, but if you want to, you can. You can do a red letter version. Isn't that exciting? Look at that. Anyway, so just play with it, enjoy it. If you have any questions about it, let me know. This is just a tool, so it's better than Google. I don't need you to Google every question I ask you that's outside of the text. And so you can go in here and see if you can find the answer first. So I'm excited to see all of you next Thursday. Talk to you later. Bye.